Yo, 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 yo. What's up, all you burners, stoners, and potheads out there? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there this evening? Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman?
How the hell are you?
Great.
I wouldn't say too great right now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. You want to talk about your little experience this afternoon?
Sure.
What happened?
Well, I unfortunately witnessed a carjacking. Unfortunately, it's kind of a thing of a trend going on in our city as of late. And yeah, wasn't quite sure if I heard gunshots until I realized I heard gunshots, about 5 of them. And then a little chaotic, everybody kind of scattering from that spot. And then someone jumping into one of the 3 cars that were stopped, and then he took off in the other direction in a just like crazy, like a lunatic.
You called me and you were pretty upset.
Yeah.
So, but glad you're safe.
I'm glad that the people that were traveling in front of me were driving slowly and blocking me from driving faster, because I may have been caught up in the crossfire of the shots. I still don't know where they were going and where they were coming from. I don't know if it was someone in the car shooting out or the person that was out of the car shooting in. Or someone that was, there's a busy gas station. I really don't know. I mean, it all happened so fast. But I'm thankful that I got blocked by 2 cars in front of me that were driving slow and getting me really frustrated. But had they not done that, I was literally seconds away from that happening. So a little unsettling.
Well,
I did come home and eat an edible right away.
Yeah, you did. To calm those nerves.
Yeah.
Well, you were a little upset when we talked on the phone. Well, I'm glad you're doing all right and you're safe, and hopefully everybody else is safe, and praying for everybody out there. So, well, you probably need to smoke.
I'm ready to smoke.
You ready to smoke?
Yes.
Well,
I just to recap, I didn't eat a big edible. I had a 5 milligram balance edible, so it was kind of a indica sativa hybrid type edible.
It was, what is it, 5 THC, 5
Something
CBD?
like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
just,
balanced.
just a nice chill.
Good.
Yeah.
That started your night off, and now we're going to start the show, and we're going to smoke some Chem Dog number 4. I was given this strain by a good friend of mine who grew 5.2 pounds of all outdoor grow, and I hadn't smoked outdoor in a hot minute, and we got it on Friday. Today is Monday, and we smoked it on Friday night, and it's very good. It's got a nice flavor, real piney flavor to it. The high was nice. The flavor was nice. The high lasted for about an hour. It didn't last as long as I was hoping for, but everything else about it was great. So let's while Mrs. Weedman lights this bowl up, I'm going to tell you what Chem Dog number 4 is all about. It's a 50% sativa, 50% indica hybrid. Chem Dog number 4 is not only a legendary medical cannabis strain, but is recognized for creating some of the finest strains, including OG Kush, Auto Oil, Sour Diesel, Straw Dog, and even Blue Chem. Being an indica-dominant strain, it has light green buds that are incredibly dense, along with large capsules. However, it is not covered with many hairs, but there are visible at the top of the buds and are dark red in color. The smell of the strain sets itself apart from the rest of the crowd. Not only is it extremely strong, but it has a heavy kerosene and lemony type aroma that is followed by the smell that is quite similar to how skunky pine would smell. I agree totally on the skunky pine. When smoking the strain, you will come to realize that it's amazing and has lemon kerosene taste with pine undertones. While inhaling the strain, it tastes as though you were inhaling an exotic perfume. The strain has a good high and a heavy hitter, no doubt. However, it is not to be smoked when you have something important to do.
Oh.
We're good.
We're going to be able to talk?
Yeah, of course. We smoked it on Friday. We talked all night.
Right.
It's a very big body buzz, but we were still able to have a good focus, clarity, talking, and stuff like that. I wouldn't go out and like drive around on a bike or anything like that, but to stay at home and chill.
Drive around on a bike.
Yeah. But it's perfect for patients suffering from pains, aches, glaucoma, anxiety, and stress. The effects of this is euphoria, focus, happy, relaxing, uplifting, and I could say yes, it was. Relief symptoms, ADHD, ADD, anxiety, chronic pain, depression, and stress. Like we said, the flavors were citrus, lemon, pine, sweet, woody. And then aromas are citrusy, earthy, pine, and sweet. Definitely piney, because when you lit that up and blew it out,
yeah.
I smelled the hell out of it. So I like it. It's a good strain. I want to thank my friend. He also gave us another strain. We'll probably smoke that on the next show. And that is green crack. So we'll probably smoke that one up on the next show. We haven't even tried that yet. So I'm looking forward to trying that during the week here. And that is a sativa dominant strain when we smoke that one. So I'm going to smoke. Ms. Weedman's going to say hello to you all while I burn this bowl, yo.
Yeah. So back to that story of what happened earlier, I just did want to clarify because, like on social media, anybody tells a story like that, people are like, didn't you call the cops? I did. I did call the cops, and they verified that his words didn't say that it was a carjacking. He said that when I said I thought I had witnessed a carjacking, he said, we already have officers en route. And I said, and I heard gunshots, right? And he said, yes, ma'am, officers are en route. So just crazy, but
just be careful out there,
just
y'all.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Point of my story is that I did follow up with making a report about it.
You did.
But they already had taken care of it. So anyway, positive things. On to positive things. We smoked. We're ready to do the show.
You're edibled out.
I'm edibled out. I'm ready. I feel good.
Let's start the show. Like we talked about a couple episodes ago, MJ BizCon 2021 was in session in Las Vegas, and there's some outlooks for cannabis, and it's rosy and not so rosy. So let's take a closer look. In a sign that the world is kind of returning to normal, MJ BizCon 2021 opened its doors back up to actual people for the largest B2B cannabis industry event. This is the time of year when tens of thousands of industry professionals descend on Las Vegas to show off their products and services, networks, attend educational seminars, shake hands, or perhaps bump fists this year, smoke a few blunts, and make lots of deals. MJ BizCon CEO and founder-editor Chris Walsh delivered his annual State of the Industry and Predictions for 2022 presentation to kick off the festivities. Walsh, who has been covering the industry for 20 years, painted an optimistic picture of growing and thriving industry that is becoming acceptable by mainstream America. But Walsh also pointed out to some worrisome trends in the industry that need to be addressed. Some of the highlights that he talks about is cannabis is on track to be a $50 billion industry. Wow. By 2025, he was saying $45.9 billion. This year, it'll be about $26.4 billion. So that's big. California is the world's largest cannabis market, saw 15% growth last year. Walsh points out that Arizona, Illinois, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, Nevada, Pennsylvania will soon join the $1 billion club. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Other cannabinoids are getting steam. While THC and CBD grab the headlines, other cannabinoid compounds in the plant are being embraced by the industry, including CBC, CBG, THCV, and CBN. More controversial compounds, including Delta-8 and HHC, which are not banned in many states despite having psychoactive properties. As more people become familiar with the healing properties of these other compounds, they realize that cannabis is not a two-trick pony. This represents an opportunity for entrepreneurs to expand the plant reach and appeal. For example, Walsh pointed out that the edibles market share of products with CBN is up 14.3% in California. I do like CBN. We've talked about all those cannabinoids on prior episodes, so I don't need to go through that. But I do like CBN. Nighttime, baby. Sleepy sleep. State legalization is in full steam ahead. While the federal government continues to lumber slowly towards national legalization, state legalization is in full swing. Cannabis is legal for adults in 18 states and Washington, D.C. Medical cannabis is legal in 37. More states have legalized since early November of 2020 than the previous 3+ years. Here's a snapshot. 2020, Montana went recreational, Vermont went recreational, Arizona went recreational, Jersey went recreational, South Dakota medical and recreational, but it's still not fully recreational in South Dakota. They're doing another vote coming up soon, so let's go South Dakota. Mississippi went medical. 2021, Alabama. Oh, let's go back to Mississippi real quick. It's still not fully done. They're pussyfooting around. So, 2021, Alabama medical. Connecticut rec, New York rec, New Mexico rec, Virginia rec. So not bad. I mean, even though Alabama, you got to stick suppositories up your ass to get high in that state, but still they went medical. So Walsh predicts that at least 4 states will legalize medical or recreational cannabis in 2022, including one sleeper. They have their eyes on Texas. Wow. The Lone Star State. We'll call it the Lone Pot Leaf State. Put
Just
that
one
on their
little
flag.
plant.
Yeah. Investments are up. Like the rest of the economy, the pandemic slowed down investments in cannabis industry. But some high-profile mergers and acquisitions this year have proved that investors are happily opening their wallets up to cannabis companies. Some recent examples include capital raises for Dutchie, $350 million, TrueLeaf, $350 million, and GTI, $217 million. No joke. And we talked about Wana too. There was 200 and something million, 300 million also. So M&A is on the rise. As the economy returns to normal, so does the mergers and acquisitions activity. Just as before the pandemic, there has been increased consolidations in the cannabis industry as companies continue to be strategic about acquiring or investing in business. Some notable M&A's activity included TrueLeaf and Harvest for $2.1 billion. And that was all about Florida, too, so that was big. Jazz Pharmaceuticals and GW Pharma for $7.2 billion. MSOs has also broadened their reach. Cureleaf operates in 23 states, Green Thumb Industries, and Verano in 14 states, and TrueLeaf in 11. Whew. Lots of MSOs. More money, more problems. But not everything is peachy for cannabis. Beside the Moncure of Justin Bieber's new cannabis brand, Walsh highlighted several disturbing trends that continue to plague the industry. In California, for example, the illicit market continues to thrive and cut into the profits of a highly regulated legal market. Prohibability, high taxes, and the 280E tax code, which forbids businesses from deducting any expenses from the gross income when it involves trafficking Scheduled 1 and 2 controlled substances, have handicapped the industry and made the cost of doing business prohibitively expensive. Moreover, the great promise of social equity has largely been a disappointment. Well-intentioned programs throughout the country are beset with issues. According to Leafly's Job Report 2021, African Americans represent only 13% of the U.S. population, but only 1 to 2 to 1.7% of business owners in the industry. Wow, that's really low. That sucks. Equally disturbing is that the percentage of minority executives in cannabis is actually decreasing. Walsh pointed out that in 2019, minorities made up 28% of the executive in cannabis. In 2021, minorities will make up only 13.1% of executives. What? That's 1.1% higher than the national average of 13%. So much for cannabis righting the wrongs of the war on drugs. His predictions for 2022. But despite these negative trends, Walsh is mostly optimistic about the future. Despite the lockdowns and the political, social, and economic unrest, the cannabis industry has prevailed and have been deemed essential, he says. Here are some of his predictions for 2022. It will be the biggest year for M&As yet, with 3 to 4 mega mergers in the U.S. and Canada. While the FDA won't pave the way for ingestible CBD, states will lead the rebound. California's new law allowing CBD in food, beverages, and other ingestible products could be the game changer, he says. There will be significant progresses in social consumption, with Nevada leading the way. Mississippi and Kansas are among the frontrunners for legalizing medical cannabis, with Rhode Island, Maryland, Delaware, Oklahoma, and Ohio could be in play for recreational legalization. And we've talked about a lot of this in prior episodes, but this is his predictions at MJ BizCon, which is the biggest show of the year. So, I mean, hopefully a lot of this helps and they can make a lot of predictions come true. We'll see. I've smoked Moon Rocks. And I do like them. They get me high as fuck. But I had someone ask me a question, did I ever smoke Moon Rock? So I figured I might as well talk about it on the show. Mm-hmm. I think you've smoked Moon Rock once.
I've smoked it in a joint.
Yes, but you also smoked it out of the bubbler, too, that one time. And yeah, you were super high.
I'm glad you remember.
I do. So what are Moon Rocks? Moon Rocks are nugs of flower that have been dipped or covered in an extract like hash, oil, or shatter, then rolled in keef, a powder made of trichomes, terpenes, and cannabinoids that have fallen off from flower. So they take a whole nug, they dip it in oil or shatter all over it, and then they take your keef. And you could actually do this yourself, too, at home. You don't have to go buy it at a dispensary. You could probably just take your home grow and take a nice, fine, pretty, terpy bud. Buy yourself some oil or make your own oil. Give it a nice little coating all over the bud. You can just drizzle it all over there or just kind of just rub it on a plate and rub it all around. And then, your grinders, that bottom tray is full of keef. Take that and be like a fairy and put pixie dust all over your oil and roll it all around and get it nice and pretty. That's the basics of it. Now, I've seen people like
all over your oil?
Yeah.
Oh.
You take the keef and you put it on your oil. That's how it sticks.
Oh.
And then you let it sit for a couple of days, let it get nice and good, and then you just put it in a bubbler and smoke it. So that's what I do. So why smoke Moon Rocks? Moon Rocks are often used as a type of stoner hack, typically clocking in at least 50% THC and costing upwards of $30 a gram. Not if you grow your own and make it yourself. These coated nugs are all about bang for your buck. If you need to get extremely high but don't want to shell out the potentially hundreds of dollars it would take to buy the flower, concentrate, and keef separately, to the moon you go. If cannabis consumptions were a 3-course meal, a microdose would be an appetizer, a fire pre-roll would be an entree, and Moon Rocks would be McDonald's hot fudge sundae. You pick up on the way home from the restaurant, or when you come from downtown on your way home, and Mrs. Weedman wants the caramel McDonald's with lots of extra nuts.
It's good Sunday.
I'm not making
Are you
fun
knocking
of it.
it?
No, not at all. I just called out what you would get at
extra
McDonald's
nuts.
with extra nuts. So,
I think you're
likes her
making fun of me.
nuts. No,
I'm going to go get one tonight.
we'll see how high we get. Maybe I'll go with you.
Can't drive then.
So it'd be the most gourmet product, but it gets the job done as well. Outside of wanting to get out of this world high, Moon Rocks have a stellar application in the medicinal world too. Since legality put a milligram cap on how many cannabis products, for example, the 10 milligrams per serving cap imposed on edibles, patients requiring high doses of THC to cope with their ailments turn to Moon Rocks for relief. Moon Rocks are nugs of flower that have been covered in sticky concentrate, then rolled in keef. If the product type that is seen more potent than standard flower, more affordable than concentrates. The pros: they're the one-stop shop for getting high as fuck as humanly possible. Easy and cost-effective. Purchasing the 3 ingredients separately will set you back way more than buying a simple gram of Moon Rocks. It's true. I mean, $30, $40. Great for medicinal patients who require high THC dosage. Always fun at a party favor and a conversation piece. Cons: they get you as high as humanly possible, which is, in my experience, not mine, the journalist, the writer, is not necessarily always great. I like getting high as humanly possible, burners, stoners, and potheads. I hope you do too. You can only use glass to smoke Moon Rocks. Don't roll them in a joint or a blunt, and don't put them in the grinder. I've broken it up and put it in a joint with some more flour in it. But yeah, most of the time I've smoked it in a bubbler. It will make an incredible mess. Either put a small piece on a bowl of flour or use a small piece as a standalone bowl. I like a bubbler. I like how I use it. I got a nice little bubbler, and I like it because you also get that water filtration, and it's nice. So you can't let Moon Rocks get too hot by leaving them in the sun or your car on a hot day. When they get too hot, they become a melty, gummy, sticky, mushy nightmare, never returning to the former planetary glory. How to smoke Moon Rocks. Moon Rocks are often viewed as stoner hack due to the high amount of THC and small piece you can have. Weed smokers looking for an extra kick in their smoking session can use a piece of Moon Rock along with their standalone flower. What you'll need is 1 gram of Moon Rock, 1 gram of flour, a blade of straight razor, a glass piece, pipe bulb or a bong, 1 lighter, a rolling tray. Step 2, take 1 Moon Rock nug, place it on the rolling tray. With your blade, cut the nug into 4 or 5 chunks. Step 3. Or you could be a badass and just take the whole fucking nug and put it in your bowl and smoke it. That's just up to you. Take your glass piece and pack a normal bowl of flour. Put a Moon Rock chunk on top of your normal bowl of flour. Step 4, light your lighter and begin burning the top of the Moon Rock slowly so it sizzles and begins melting into the flour beneath. If it catches on fire, blow it out. I've had that happen. You got to blow it out. And then don't fucking touch it, because you'll burn the hell out of your hand. Inhale as you apply low heat to the bowl until the entire thing is cherried. Again, never touch the sticky little devil during this process. You're going to regret it. Exhale a huge cloud. Coughing uncontrollably is optional. You do get higher from coughing. Mrs. Weedman knows. From here, you may want to orbit the living room, alternating between contact with fridge, the television, the couch for the foreseeable future. After a successful descent back into the atmosphere, repeat if you dare. That's Moon Rocks. I like them. I gotta make some. Gotta get some oil. Get some like you could, if some states they'll sell just the oil you can fill in your cartridges. A lot of them aren't doing that. You can make your own too. But man, they're rock solid. I like them. I like them a lot. I know Dov Boy, T, and Paulie, we used to smoke them all the time. So, but we're talking about edibles again.
Yeah.
And here is why. I know we talk a lot about them, and there's a lot of people that use edibles and a lot of newbies that go to edibles before they go to smoking flower or vapes. So we keep on educating on edibles, and there's nobody better than talking about edibles because she makes a really good edible. Mrs. Weedman, take it away.
Well,
I'm going to smoke some more Chem Dog 4.
So this is an article about the question of edibles being stronger than smoking weed. And last week I talked about a little concoction that I still didn't have time to make. Well, we didn't have a bonfire because it was crummy out. But Rice Krispie treats infused, right? A little layer of some chocolate.
Infused,
and then some roasted marshmallows.
Infused.
Make a sandwich out of it. Well, you can't infuse a marshmallow. Oh, my God.
We are
going to make that. What did I call them? I called them, I don't know, but we're going to make those. Anyway, so this is all about that question. Is an edible stronger than smoking? So many people recount their first-time horror stories of edibles. Most commonly, people have these stories because the edibles that they had weren't made on the legal marketplace and the dosing was not precise. They either didn't know there was weed in the brownies or they ate too many, and then the high was just way too intense. Understanding how edibles work, what the strength and proper dosages are for your body, and what to expect are all key to having a great edible experience. The difference between edibles and smoking weed is pretty significant. And if you're not sure what you're getting yourself into, it's easy to take way too much. There's always going to be a little bit of trial and error involved. But once you figure it out for yourself, you'll understand why so many people love edibles. The way THC affects your body is full of cannabinoid receptors. There are 2 officially recognized cannabinoid receptors, but most medical scientists agree that there may be as many as 5. CB1 and CB2 are the receptors that have been extensively studied for their interactions with weed. Weed is full of cannabinoids. There are over 113 recognized cannabinoids. For the sake of simplicity, it's very convenient that only one of them gets you high. That cannabinoid is THC, and its presence is what dictates whether or not weed is strong. When THC enters your body, it eventually finds its way to your CB1 receptors. It binds to those receptors, and the effect of that bond is what makes you feel high. So we've got indica and we have sativa. Your high can be affected by the presence of CBD. CBD and THC are the 2 prominent cannabinoids. How much CBD is in your flower depends on the strain and the way it was bred. More often than not, indica strains will have more CBD than sativa strains. CBD relaxes the body. It's part of the reason indica is associated with a body high. CBD dampens THC's effects a little bit. It attempts to block THC from binding to your CB1 receptors. That's why an indica strain with 30% THC hits so much differently from a sativa strain that's 30% THC. The sativa is a pure head high. In an indica, the body high and the head high balance each other out. You feel more of the effects throughout your body, but your mind isn't as affected as it would be with the same CBD sativa. So how does smoking weed get you high? When you're smoking weed, you're giving the THC a path directly to your bloodstream. You can take a hit and know within a minute the way it's going to affect you. Your blood carries it quickly to your CB1 receptors and the THC binds. It's nearly immediate, and the peak of your high comes much sooner. Because smoking THC works so quickly, it also fades away much sooner. You've bypassed most of your body's processes to use the THC and permitted it to roll full steam ahead at your receptors. So how do edibles get you high?
Hold on. You said that last night when we were in the basement session smoking, you were saying that you've been coughing a lot lately, and you were just like, maybe I should lay back from smoking for a minute, but edibles it takes so long sometimes to hick in, and I don't know when it's going to start or when it's going to finish, but you like smoking flower because you can control it, and you know it'll hit you within 10 minutes, and you know how you're feeling already. You said that last night when we were smoking in the smoke sesh. But yeah, I mean, we still eat edibles. We love them because the high is amazing.
Right.
But
we went out over the weekend, and we didn't have a little vape pen to bring with. So we didn't want to.
We ate like 15,
we brought a bunch
20
of,
milligrams of
yeah,
edibles
when we
each.
got there, after we ate dinner and got to the place to hear some live music, we took our edibles. So by the time they were working, like the show started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect.
We were high.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
But it took a minute.
Yeah.
To hit.
So how do edibles get you high? Edibles, and I know we talk about this a lot, but you know, every article is a little different. So something might make sense to one person and something else might click with another person differently. And so here we are.
Knowledge is power.
Yes. Edibles, like anything you eat, have to pass through your digestive system. They're never going anywhere near your lungs. Many people see this as an advantage of using edibles. There's no smoke, no coughing, and no potential risk to your lung health when you choose to eat your weed. They have to make a long trip through your body, though, which many people see as a disadvantage of taking edibles. A stomach isn't like a circulatory system. There's a lot of factors that affect digestion. Your personal metabolic speed and how much you've already eaten will impact how and when your edible will start to work. The slow movement of your digestive system means that your edible may kick in at an unpredictable time, and your high will continue to escalate for a while. Your body slowly and continuously processes the THC you ate in a steady stream. Smoking THC is like a bike ride up a mountain. If you want to get higher, pedal a little bit. If you don't want to ride anymore, you can stop. Edibles are like a plane ride. You're going up high, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And when you buy the ticket, you've got to ride the ride. There's no going back. It isn't unusual for edibles to take anywhere from 4 to 12 hours to completely wear off.
That's true.
Yeah. As long as the THC is moving through your digestive system, it's going to continue to affect you. It's not the strength, it's the experience. Weeds, THC is measured in percentages. In edibles, it's measured in milligrams.
Which we talked about in the last episode.
Yep. Leveling the playing field and going apples to apples is easy. Your weed percentage refers to milligrams of THC per gram, making 1 gram of a 30% THC weed 300 milligrams of THC per gram. So if you roll 2 joints out of a gram, that means you're getting 150 milligrams of THC per joint. But remember, there's the whole smoke. We talked about a couple episodes ago
You
that
lose.
when you're smoking, you're losing like
40 to 60%.
Yeah. So now your 150 goes down to like 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many edibles have much less THC. Edibles start as low as 2.5 grams and go as high as 1,000 milligrams. Oh. The average candy or gummy edible has about 40 milligrams of THC per serving, meaning you'd need to eat more than 3 to get as much THC as you'd get in a joint. But not really, right?
I don't know. You going to tell us?
I don't know. I'm thinking back to that other article, though, because they talked about like when you're ingesting it, you are going to get every bit of the THC.
Yeah.
When you're smoking it, vaping it, any other form, you're losing
40 to 60%
of the, through the way that you're ingesting it.
100%.
So a 40 milligram edible for a first timer.
Ooh.
I wouldn't even do a 40 milligram.
No, we like our 10s.
Right.
But we can, we went out, we ate a 10.
I can handle a 20.
Throughout, but not all at once.
Right.
I like doing a 10, and a couple hours later, once I know the first edible kicked in, then I pop another 10. And then, because then an hour later, when I'm maybe coming down from the peak or 2 hours, that other one is just kicking in. And I'm like,
right.
I'm still out. Still want to have a good time.
Right.
And if I'm not bringing smoke with me. So, I don't know. That's how we were on Saturday.
So, although the THC content of edibles is usually much lower, many people feel like edibles are much stronger. This is likely due to the duration of the high and the THC's slow release. You'll feel like you've been high for a whole day because when it's all said and done, you will be. Edibles take a very long time to pass through your body. So dosage and patience are key. Often people will find that edibles seem stronger because they take way too much. A so-called serving of weed is easy to estimate. You pack a bowl, you roll a joint, you smoke it. You know how much weed you smoked and what to expect from that amount of weed. The nature of edibles is much different. 3 gummies don't feel like a serving to most people. If you buy a small bag of gummy candy, it's easy to eat the whole thing in one sitting, mindlessly. That would be a huge mistake with edibles. They pack a lot of THC into a very small serving, which distorts the perception of how much you should be ingesting. You could easily down 500 milligrams of THC in edibles without ever thinking about it. Edibles can also take up to 2 hours to start kicking in because your stomach has to break them down. People tend to get impatient with edibles. After half an hour, they don't feel anything and they eat more. Then the process has to start again, where their high is climaxing from their first edible, then their second edible is going to start kicking in, and then the effects will stack and the duration of the high gets longer and longer and more intense. The key to a successful experience with edibles is small doses and lots of patience. Don't run back for another brownie in an hour because nothing is happening yet.
We've heard so many stories like that.
You might regret that decision, and once you've made it, there isn't much you can do to fix it. So which high is better? Smoking weed is always going to give you a more predictable high for a reasonable duration of time. Edibles are a little less predictable, but they'll keep you high longer. Assuming you're using edibles correctly, the experience can be fun. Edibles will give you a much longer high. As long as you are using edibles on a day where you don't have a lot of stuff to do, you might find that you really enjoy the experience. The perception is that edibles are stronger. Comes from many misconceptions about what they do and how they work, leading to their misuse. They aren't necessarily stronger. They just are processed completely differently.
Through your liver.
Yeah. So whether you're looking to try edibles or you've decided to stick to the old-fashioned smoke, there's a large selection between flowers and edibles for you to choose from. Just make sure you understand your percentages before you dive in.
Yeah, and if someone gives you a brownie...
Oh, yeah. Without packaging?
With not telling you, hey, I made this dope-ass fucking weed brownie at my house. Here, you want a couple? Yeah. Or they bring a plate over and they give you, and they leave my... Listen, don't fucking eat the whole brownie.
Oh, my God, like baby bite.
Like, just
and
start
else.
off with a quarter of it.
That's a lot.
Nah.
I've heard people eat like a chocolate chip size bite and they're on their butt.
I don't know. Not me.
Yeah, it's like a 500 milligram cookie.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Right? You don't know. When you're making brownies and cookies and stuff like that, unless you know the exact dosage what's in your butter, you don't know. There's calculations. Mrs. Weedman and I have gone to the calculator and done it, but it's still not 100% guaranteed. Just start low, go slow, and enjoy the ride. If you get too high, DM me, and I'll talk you through it.
Worst case scenario?
On Instagram. I check my Instagram quite regularly, so, just because I get DMs all the time, and I want to make sure I'm answering. If you're high as fuck and you need somebody to get you down, Mr. and Mrs. Weedman to the rescue. We're here for you. So just reach out. Just, we'll talk to you. We'll talk you through it. It'll be fun. We'll even send you some funny pictures of things.
Also, you could, until you feel like the edible has kicked in, you can smoke. You could have like a hit. That hit's going to make you feel a little buzzy for a half hour to an hour, right? And then
that edible might kick in.
At the end of that smoke, that one puff, then you're like, no, I'm still not high. So take another puff. I guarantee you by the time that second hit off a joint is gone, the edible kicked in.
Yeah.
I think that's the way. I'm going to try that.
You've tried a lot of different things lately. I love it.
Mr. Weedman's like, did you eat an edible already?
I did. I was shocked.
Like, you checking?
No, I wasn't checking. I just wanted to join the party.
Like, what the heck? You
didn't even offer me one.
No.
What's up with that? That's why you're like, you always say go over there and grab whatever you want. I'm like, because you can. I don't give a fuck. But when you have an edible and you don't offer somebody one, I always offer you one. So offer me one, because I wouldn't have said no. I'd be
sorry.
If you're in, I'm in.
Next time,
all in, 100%.
I'll just have you all know that I have a really fabulous outfit on right now. As soon as it gets like a drop below like 65 degrees outside, my layers of house clothing come out. I have on hot pink leggings.
Those hot pink leggings are badass.
With a gray tank top, with a black big drapey cozy sweatshirt, with striped multi-blue, gray, black socks on. and gray Birkenstock type clogs. I am like the fashion statement.
Fashion. Those hot pink pants,
It's the
though.
pants.
The hot
It's
pink
the hot
pants.
pink.
We were talking earlier, and
You kept
you're like,
yeah.
I was looking at you, and you're like, what are you looking at? I'm like,
why do you keep looking at my legs?
your hot pink pants is catching my eye. I can't help looking at it.
I never wear a color, so I look like a stop sign, like a blinking stop sign.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Ohio medical cannabis patients dissatisfied with program. I've been to Ohio. Thank you, Columbus. Thank you all of Ohio for listening. My opinion, before I even read a little bit of this, is this: the board of pharmacies should not run cannabis in Ohio. Two, just my opinion. Two, what you're allocated sucks. Illinois, we get 2.5 ounces medical, and you're only a medical state. 2.5 ounces that recharge every 2 weeks. That's pretty dope. Yours is like allotments. It's like they prescribed you what you're allowed to have. It's kind of shitty. So the Board of Pharmacy shouldn't. It should just have its own medical cannabis people that run it. So, but the Ohio medical cannabis patients are extremely dissatisfied or somewhat dissatisfied with the state's cannabis system, according to a new report. According to a report by the Drug Enforcement Policy Center at Ohio State University Moritz College of Law, a little less than half of Ohio's medical cannabis patients are extremely dissatisfied or somewhat dissatisfied with the state's medical cannabis system. The Dayton Daily News reports the number one reason for their dissatisfaction given by the 1,326 patients who took the survey, or why they didn't use licensed dispensaries or dropped out of the program altogether, was the continued high prices of medical cannabis in Ohio. I'm not allowed to buy in Ohio, but yes, I've heard. So a little pricey, even more so than Illinois. But medical in Illinois is good. Nearly 3 years into the program, Ohio medical cannabis is 44% more expensive than cannabis in neighboring Michigan. Well, because Michigan is wrecked too, and there's 500 dispensaries there, so that's not really a good judge. We follow, and there's only 55 dispensaries in Ohio, so. We follow the economic trends because you don't want the price to be too low or too high. So there's a median that has been set by the industry. Everybody's selling pretty much at the same price at all locations. There's no price gouging by any individual owners. I don't know about that, but that's what I'm reading. They added the owners have an understanding not to discount prices too much just so they can get all the sales. The report notes that the price per gram of Ohio fell from $17 in 2019 to $11 or $10 by the end of the year. However, since January 2021, prices have remained stagnant despite more producers and dispensaries coming online. Another reason for the program dissatisfaction is the lack of medical cannabis home grows. The report found the bill to legalize adult use cannabis and home cultivation will be introduced in the upcoming Ohio legislative sessions that will be addressed that addresses those complaints. So that's Ohio. Michigan medical cannabis caregiver system is ready for the vote, and Michigan lawmakers are set to vote on the package of bills. So I just wanted to say a couple things. Michigan lawmakers are set to vote a package of bills that would make sweeping changes to the state's 2008 voter-approved medical cannabis law, including reducing the number of patients allowed per caregiver, limiting the number of planned caregivers can grow in one time from 60 to 12. Michigan Advance reports. Under current law, caregivers must register with the state, but don't need a license to cultivate cannabis. Can have up to 5 plants and grow up to 12 plants per patient. Caregivers are not currently subject to the state's rules on testing, labeling, or tracking of cannabis products. Caregivers are allowed to grow a maximum of 72 plants if they are also registered patients with the state program, the report says. The reform package includes 6 bills. In addition to the caregiver reforms, the reforms would create a license for specialty medical cannabis growers and require those licenses to use a tracking system, exempts cannabis sales from a registered primary caregiver or licensed specialty grower to a registered qualifying patient form, use, and sales taxes, and updated the state's definitions of debilitating medical conditions in the state's health code. The Michigan Chamber of Commerce on Tuesday applauded the approval of the reforms by the House Regulatory Reform Committee, saying it would help improve safety and ensure fairness in the state's cannabis industry. Wendy Block, Vice President of Business Advocacy and Member Engagement for the Chamber, said the legalization creates a framework for the new class license to join the license marketplace and create thousands of new businesses. Caregivers argue the bills are being backed by corporate cannabis interests in the state and create excessive regulations for caregivers. Wyan Bringgold, who we mentioned before, caregiver who organized a caregiver rights rally last month, said the caregivers never had a seat at the table when lawmakers were crafting the legislation, and that the officials ignored advocates' attempts to reach out about the proposal. He says they will not quit, he told Advance. These big money investors, they have made a power move. The bill moves next to the House floor. They must still be approved by the Senate before going to Governor Gretchen Whitmer for her signature. So good luck, caregivers out there. That's why I'm reading this article for you. Go out there, man, and keep on fighting for your right to grow. Here's something cool in Florida. There's an AI cannabis vending machine that can identify over 21 customers now available in Florida. VA American Green. They put one up in what fucking city was that again? I forgot. Sorry about that. Where's Ponce de Leon from? And where the Fountain of Youth?
Florida.
Yeah, I know, in Florida.
St. Petersburg.
Nope.
No. St. Augustine.
Yes, there. So they're putting it there. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully it works. Here's some top things to know. The latest annual survey from the Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration shows yet again that the spread of cannabis legalization for adults to more states is not driving an increase in youth use. Teen cannabis consumption actually dropped in 2020. That's awesome. A new poll found that 60% of Pennsylvania voters support legalization of cannabis, a record high. That's awesome. Maryland lawmakers on the House Cannabis Referendum and Legalization Work Group and Senate Finance Committee held hearings on the process of expunging cannabis convictions records of voters pass a referendum to legalize next year. That's cool. Some federal stuff. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is hiring for positions to serve as the curator of hemp involving preserving, regenerating, and producing high-quality germplasms and what the fuck is a germplasm? And conducting research on the maintenance, genetic diversity, taxonomy, systematics, characterizations, enhancement, and evolution of germplasm. Someone tells me what germplasm is. I'll send you some stickers. The Senate approved the confirmation of President Joe Biden's nominee for the director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden, Democrat, Ohio, said cannabis legalization will be front and center after major pending legalization is handled. Senator Jackie Rosen, Nevada cannabis industry has created new businesses and jobs and brought in millions of new tax revenue for our state, but federal law is holding us back. Representative Angie Craig, Democrat, Minnesota, using medical cannabis to treat medical conditions shouldn't rob law-abiding Americans of their constitutional rights. We need to pass and get the MORE Act signed into law. Some state stuff. Florida, Democratic gubernatorial candidates Charlie Crist, currently a congressman, and Nikki Fried, currently agriculture commissioner, continue to feud over cannabis policy. Virginia, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe tweeted, over the past 8 years, VA Dems have expanded Medicaid, legalized cannabis, raised the minimum wage, strengthened the voting rights, and good for you, cannabis, about there. So California's Attorney General sent a warning about cannabis edibles that resemble major food brands. Colorado Attorney General tweeted, indeed, there's risk of cannabis edibles passing as candy. This was for Halloween. Man, I don't, there was a bunch of stuff about Halloween and people handing out edibles to kids. Man, if you did that, one, you're just wasting them because you could be eating them, and two, don't do that fucking shit if you were doing it. You're an asshole. So, serious.
Quite frankly.
Yeah. Mississippi's Agriculture and Commerce Commissioner reiterated concerns about medical cannabis. The Washington, D.C. Council will consider legislation to crack down on licensed cannabis businesses on Tuesday. Be careful. A federal judge ruled that Maine's residency requirements for medical and cannabis businesses owners can remain in effect while they are challenged in court. Illinois officials will discuss cannabis tax revenue and distribution at an event on Tuesday. Iowa regulators sent an update about the medical cannabinol program. New Mexico regulators proposed rules of cannabis solvents and labor peace agreements. Washington state regulators announced cannabis social equity rulemaking. So that's the news. And then 2 more Illinois companies sue state over cannabis licensing process. That's 185 licenses, just wasting time. What can't you live without besides me in the morning?
Coffee.
Tell us about it.
I love it. I think everybody has like their thing, right? I don't know. For me, coffee, it's not about the caffeine. It's about like grinding the beans and getting the coffee maker ready, the smell of the fresh grounds. I don't know. It's all good. So
you love your coffee.
Oh my God, I love coffee. The beautiful molecular relationship between cannabis and caffeine. There are a few mind-altering substances that pair together as harmoniously as coffee and weed. Whether you're brewing one of the few THC-infused coffee brands actually available on the market or lighting up a joint with your afternoon espresso, nothing hits quite like a coffee buzz punctuated with a cannabis high. It's commonly known as a Seattle Speedball in some parts of the country. I'll let you guess where. Seattle, maybe.
Woo!
There's science here. Caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant that blocks the neurotransmitters in your brain from making you feel sleepy. A caffeine high is the work of chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline that elevate your blood pressure and boost your energy supplies, causing feelings of power and euphoria. Weed, as it turns out, works similarly. Cannabis, like caffeine, enters your system through your blood-brain barrier, explains Michelle Mendoza, head buyer at the Los Angeles dispensary Sweet Flower. It binds to receptors in the endocannabinoid system where it produces responses based on the characteristics of the strain of cannabis that's consumed. For those strains that contain more sativa-like properties, terpenes and minor cannabinoids, the effect would fall more in line with a stimulant and produce the same racing heart and heightened euphoric alertness of coffee. With a more indica-like cultivar or strain, it might produce a heavier body high and some sedation. Mendoza is a huge advocate of weed, coffee, and pairing weed with coffee, pointing to the cultural and ritual similarities imbued in both cultures. I love the idea of coffee and cannabis together as a ritual practice, she says. I think for many, the act of making coffee or rolling a joint can be deeply meditative moments that give way to a larger practice of self-care and wellness. Wellness is an interesting word to use when referring to cannabis, or coffee for that matter. For my brain, ritual is my wellness. My favorite method of making coffee is a pour-over. I relish taking out my kitchen scale, scooping out 29 grams, give or take a few, of rich, medium coarse coffee, pouring in the water, and letting the smell wash over me as the coffee blooms. Similarly, prepping a joint involves a similar process. Grinding, measuring, smelling. On some mornings, you can watch the smoke and steam dance together in the air. I think that sounds appealing.
I kiss my weed before I put it in a joint. I blow it kisses.
I feel like that would be really great in the summer, like when the kitchen windows are open and then you just like, I've never like woke up and hit a joint.
You've never been a Wake a Baker.
I think I'm going to try that, like on a summer Sunday.
Why don't you just do
lazy
it?
Sunday
why don't you
morning.
Just do it this Sunday in the winter.
In the winter? It might be good too. This interesting combination of caffeine and cannabinoids isn't necessarily limited to THC. Meet Jim Higdon, a former journalist who ditched writing to start a CBD company, with his brother. Despite his strong distaste for the initial CBD-infused everything phase from a few years back, Higdon's comes to appreciate the combination of caffeine and CBD. I take my coffee with half and half, no sugar, and one of my full-spectrum gummies, he says. The effects it has on me, personally, are amazing. I feel stimulated and energized by the coffee, and the CBD stops me from feeling jittery. This is all a work in progress, though. Finding the right strain, sourcing the right coffee, experimenting on how to combine the two, etc. Mendoza told me her favorite combo is an Americano with a hint of cream and an evenly balanced strain of weed for an even head and body buzz. For me, I'll continue on with my afternoon ritual of sipping an iced Cafe Bustelo, oat milk latte. Sorry, those words.
It sounds...
Cafe Bustelo. I can picture it, but I don't know if you're supposed to roll the L's. Bustelo. I don't know.
If you're a barista, let us know.
Anyway, this is her ritual of sipping an iced Cafe Bustelo oat milk latte, followed by a puff of terpene-rich papaya punch. It is divine. But no matter how you enjoy weed and coffee, I urge you to indulge in the process and enjoy one of the nicest buzzes you can get. Pretty cool.
This Sunday, we're going to try that. I'm going to bring up a joint. I'm going to smoke it. Yep.
Okay.
International news. Cannabis has a rich history on the island nation of Sri Lanka. I really didn't know that. but traditional methods of cultivation are being erased. And in Sri Lanka, this gentleman, his name is Wastantha Sina Welling-Anje, and he's Sri Lanka's leading weed scholar and influencer who has a PhD in natural science, and he was recently arrested. And I didn't know Sri Lanka had a history of 6,000 years of growing cannabis, and has tens of thousands. And this guy has tens of thousands of Facebook followers because he was recently arrested for trying to keep the old ways of growing cannabis. And his followers are going crazy right now. All the people that have worked with him, and they're saying that the police should be ashamed and release him now. So it's all over Facebook. Go follow him and check him out. I mean, I'm going to read more about him and stuff like that, but hopefully they let him out of jail because that's fucked up. So Italian activists turned in more than 500,000 signatures for cannabis and psilocybin referendum. That's cool. Hopefully they get some shit passed there. I know Italy's a little medical, but man, that should be like, imagine smoking weed at a coffee shop there, having some espresso and some good Italian food, and
That'd
be able
be
to smoke a joint in a little courtyard. That'd be awesome.
I'd be pretty happy.
Yep. Pakistan vows cannabis reform by end of year. Pakistan Minister of Science and Technology Shabil Fraza has vowed to present a national cannabis policy by the end of 2021. Well, I hope so, because they're like legendary. Pakistan appears to be the latest country to succumb to the cannabis legalization wave that has gripped the planet with increasing speed. During a recent meeting with the National Assembly Standing Committee on Science and Technology, the Pakistan Minister of Science and Technology, Shabil Faraz, specifically discussed not only the worth of the global cannabis market in just a few short years, but also the place of Pakistan in it. And cannabis has a deep history in Pakistan. I mean, some of your most famous landrace strains have come out of Pakistan, and it would be great to get some of those because some of the greatest hash comes from Pakistan, and so they have a history, a very long history. Hashish is widely consumed in both smoked form or in liquid form called bang. During the 1980s, criminal laws were put into place around drugs, including cannabis, in part of due to the pressure by then the U.S. President Ronald Reagan. Ever since then, until the new legalization and reform wave of the last decade, the country's politicians have not changed their stance. Well, you should, because I want some of those landrace strains. So good luck, Pakistan, and that scientist and the head over there. Good luck with the fight of cannabis. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you can get it passed and we can get some hash over here one day. What are some of the best things to do when you're high?
I got some ideas. You
Tell
want to
me.
hear?
Fuck yeah.
I've got the top 5 entertaining activities to try when you are high. Don't just sit on the couch. Try some fun new activities when you get high. There are few better feelings than the ones you experience when you're stoned. Getting high for many ranks high on the list of life's greatest pleasures. Simply being in that state is great in itself, but what about adding to the fun by throwing in an entertainment activity? We've listed our top 5, not ours, this person who wrote this, favorite entertainment activities to engage in when you're pleasantly high. Number 5 is build up some sweat. You're surely familiar with those endorphins that kick in when you've completed an aerobic session or a run. They don't call it a natural high for nothing. So what's our point? Why would you need to get high when you're already high? Imagine how on top of the world you'd feel if you threw in some good quality cannabis after you've built up a sweat from exercise, yoga, or any type of physical activity that triggers the good hormones. Did you know that there are even fitness studios that combine specific cannabis strains with workouts? If you're lucky enough to live in a U.S. state where cannabis has been legalized, you can find these boutique studios, and they're an absolute hit. Cannabis users are constantly singing the praises of how weed benefits their mental and physical health. Many users who regularly work out report that they are more consistent in their exercise regimens, have an overall better body image, and that their mental health has improved in leaps and bounds. Interestingly, some experts say that using cannabis soothes areas of the brain that feed our ego. This makes workouts less stressful, with no anxiety or pressure to perform. Users have found that when they're running on the treadmill or doing weights, weed helps them zone out and work out in a better state of mind. They also report on the ability to focus better on breathing and to reach a more meditative and mindful state. With all of this going for it, can you think of one good reason why weed and exercise are not a good match? No.
No.
Number 4, spin the slots. We're not endorsing that you gamble great wads of money while you're high. The chances are that you won't be in the right frame of mind to play games that require you to concentrate on strategies and mathematics. Yeah, you can't really
I like
goof
3-card
around.
poker when I'm high. I
Yeah.
don't like the slots when I'm high.
Oh my God, I couldn't do that.
Too many.
I don't even
lights.
like them when I'm sober.
Too many lights.
Yeah, too many lights.
Just when I'm too high, it's the sensory is just like whoa, overload.
Too
So I
much.
like going to the table. Roulette's fun too.
Yeah,
When
that's
we're
fun.
high.
So they're just saying it's fun to be maybe in that casino environment. There's definitely some casino games, such as slot machines, that don't require any skill whatsoever, and they make the perfect entertainment activity to go with your joint. Online casino.
Not with the women that you go to play. Everyone they
get serious.
Yeah, on the
They really
slots.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Online
Strategy.
casino slot games in particular are the ideal companion to a high state because they don't require you to get behind the wheel of your car to get to your nearest brick and mortar casino. Playing online means you can lie back on your bed, your sofa, prop up your laptop, and start spinning those fantastic graphic-rich games available at online casinos. How about number 3, relax in a bath? You know that feeling when you walk in from the day and all you want to do is wash away all the problems by soaking in your tub? Think of throwing your favorite joint into the mix. For the ultimate in relaxation and entertainment, we seriously suggest this foolproof recipe. Run one very hot bath, dim the lights and light up some strategically placed candles, add your favorite scented bubbles, pour a glass of something cold and refreshing, put on some pleasant background music, turn off your phone, warm your fluffiest towel, lie back in the water, light up your favorite joint. Do some deep breathing or meditation and feel the day's pressures just wash away.
They even make bath salts now with THC.
They do.
I have a jar that's been sitting up there for a hot minute. We haven't tried yet, or I haven't tried yet. So it's like 25 milligrams in the whole thing. You put it in the water. It's supposed to like soak in your skin. It's supposed to be good.
Number 2, get high with your pals. Adding cannabis to your social mix adds an entire new dimension to your catch-ups. Haven't seen a good friend for a long time and want to chat into the wee hours of the morning? Feeling a little nervous on your date? Need something that will help you chill? Want to let loose in an awkward social setting? Getting a little high may not only take the edge off of things, but it also adds a deeper level to your conversations. Anybody who's ever gotten high with a best friend recognizes that awesome connection and the unforgettable talks that come out of the situation, and some unsensible jibber jabber.
Yeah.
Some people that maybe aren't high would be like, what are you even talking about? You feel more in sync. Yes, because you can have those wacky conversations with somebody and you're both like thoroughly engaged.
Every night with you.
Mm-hmm. You feel more in sync. You delve into subjects that make your emotions run high. You feel things more clearly and all of your senses are heightened. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So, number 1 is visit a music festival. We've left the best for last, in our humble opinion. Nothing quite beats the feeling of rocking to your favorite tunes in the open air at a music festival, especially when you're mellowed out from a joint. The experience becomes even more meaningful and the lyrics of the songs become more profound. Add to that the fact that just about every person around you is high. And it makes the festival, it just burns, like etches the memory
Experience.
into your... Yeah, it's an
Oof.
experience. It's a proven fact that a music festival or live show is 10 times more fun when you're stoned. Ask the people of Woodstock what made that event such a landmark moment in the history of music. And you're sure to hear from at least half of those people that it's because there was a cloud of pot hovering over the peace, love, rock, and roll. So, big no-nos, though, just a few that they don't want you to do. Don't call your ex. Don't call your boss. Don't propose to your better half. Don't buy a pet. Don't buy a house. And don't drive.
There you go.
Pretty simple.
There you go.
That's it. That's all I got.
I like video games,
Yeah, I know you do.
but I like them. I like them when I smoke. It's a thing that I do. So if I enjoy video games when you're smoking a good strain, a good sativa hybrid or sativa, the screens that your senses are heightened, so you play a little bit faster. You can keep up, or you're in a role playing game and everything seems more real and vibrant. I love being high playing video games, so that would be my list. And play some video games with you, like Smash Brothers with your boys. Have fun with that, and Valorant. And I'm playing with people all over the world, and it's kind of funny because there's more women playing Valorant now than I'm when I'm on. It's crazy, and so men, women, whoever, humans.
What's
video
that fun?
games.
What's that fun video game that you play with?
Your phone? Oh, Jackbox.
Jackbox. Oh my God, when you're high and you
Switch.
play that.
Oh, so much fun.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So much fun when you play with a group of 6 people.
Yeah, and
oh my
everybody's
God.
smoking or drinking or whatever.
Yeah. Pro wrestling legend Jim Ross started a cannabis farm in Oklahoma. Good for Jim Ross. He's a legend in wrestling, announcer. Been around a long time. And then Little Kim launching cannabis brand called Aphrodisiac, and she's launching it with a brand. I'll read about it for you. So Grammy Award rapper Lil Kim is launching her own cannabis brand Aphrodisiac in partnership with Superbad. Reports this line is set to debut in early 2022. And they called her Super Baddie, Little Kim. This Carlos Du, CEO of Superbad, called her Super Baddie. And she goes, why wouldn't I partner with a company called Superbad? Because I'm the baddest ass rapper in history. So good for her. Little Kim, you're dope. We always like you. Good luck you with your cannabis brand, and Jim Ross, good luck with your farm. So, man, the weed that we got from our friend, pretty good. I took about 4 rips off the bowl. I give it a good rating.
I'm pretty high.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna smoke some more though. I did say it. The flavor was great. The smell's amazing. The high is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed to smoke a lot.
Yeah.
So, but everything is all crisp and bright right now because I took 4 hits. Big rips too.
Oops.
No, so thank you. I will smoke the green crack on the next episode, and we'll tell you about green crack. And then, like I said, if anybody ever wants to throw me a nug and that you home grow, I'll be happy to talk about it on the show and give it my honest opinion. And thank you, friend, for throwing us some nugs. Listen, home grow, I mean, outdoors, his plants grew to kingdom come, and he got 5.2 ounces of smokable flower, not including everything else.
Pounds.
Yeah, 5.
You said ounces.
Oh, sorry, 5.2 pounds. Sorry about that, everyone. 5.2 pounds.
Yeah.
But that was all smokable. The rest probably pushed to edibles and, leaves and trim, whatever. Who knows? Compost it, whatever. But 5.2 pounds of smokable flower, 5 plants outdoor. That is a lot of weed.
Yeah, it is.
And he grew 2 strains, Chem Dog 4 and Green Crack. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got a lot. I mean, you're not going to smoke a pound by yourself a week. That 5 pounds, you'd be able to, like I said, he gave me 2 16-ounce mason jars full. I was like, here, have fun, So crazy. Yeah, so grow your own weed. Learn. Get your state to do it. So, you got anything else to say, Mrs. Weedman?
No.
You feeling better now?
I'm feeling better.
Good. Life
All
is
right.
good.
Life is good.
When life throws you a rotten tomato,
You got to just kick it to the curb.
Throw it back.
Kick it to the curb. Shit's in my way.
Yeah.
That's all.
Hey, everybody.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
All right. Hey, everybody. Peace be with you all out there. Thanks for listening around the world. We love you. We love you around the world. Thank you. Australia. I haven't seen some pictures yet. Got to see some buds now. Can't wait to see. Don't forget to listen to us on all of the platforms. And then we are on, check us out at WeMan420 on Instagram. WeMan420 Chronicles on Instagram. WeMan420Pod on Twitter. Throw us an email, WeMan420Chronicles@gmail.com. And then, like I said, I started a TikTok. WeMan420 Chronicles on TikTok. I don't know. It's funny. So I guess.
Did you do anything on there yet?
I post the episodes
Oh.
that I'm on there.
Fun.
And I posted a video of something. I don't remember. So, but man, nothing of me. I don't know. It's just, I haven't done anything yet. I will one day. But I just like going on there because it makes me laugh. So, Fucking crazy ass people. There's those 2 kids right now. It's all over, and these kids now are like at 1 million followers each. They're twins from Florida, and the song is called "I'm an Island Boy." Have you seen it yet?
No.
They got these like dreads that are all colored, and they're like 19. They're like 20 years old, I think. They're getting. I mean, everyone's blowing these 2 kids up, and they're all over the place now. And they have this song called "Island Boy." They sing "Island Boy," and they sing in the pool now. Everybody's singing it. It's nuts. It's nuts, and that's just some 2 kids
just goofing around,
and now. But here's the thing: people are making fun of them so bad.
Oh,
like this guy.
Why?
This. I got to show you the video. I got to show you their TikToks. You'll understand why. And if anybody has seen it yet, you're gonna laugh. But there's people like dressing up as them and like doing their hair like them, and like one guy had like a bunch of boxes with a bunch of yellow fake dreads hanging out, and he's singing the song in the bathtub because he doesn't have a pool probably because the kids were singing in their pool. Another guy made up a whole different song.
So it's just it's morphed into its own.
Oh my God, they're famous because of
just one little.
They're not
video.
very good. Right. But the song is very catchy,
right?
Because I catch myself singing it in my head every once in a while. So stupid. But if you've seen them, I don't know, man. I don't even know their names. I just know they got one brother has red dreads that stick up like the Statue of Liberty spikes, and then the other brother is yellow, and they have these gold teeth, and their faces are all painted up with tats, and they're like 20 years old. But I don't know. And then people. Here's another funny thing because I don't know if they're being trying to be asses about it or trying to have fun with it, but every video someone makes of them, now they're doing a side video, like looking at the video of being made fun of, and like doing these funny faces and be like shrugging their shoulders and laughing about it. It's kind of
so
fun.
They're playing off of all
yeah,
that stuff.
yeah. It's
smart.
Social media marketing like I've never seen.
Crazy,
and it's so stupid. It's funny. So once again, peace be with you all. I love you all. Thanks for listening around the world. As Paulie always says, smoke smart or eat edible smart. Puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.